Hi guys, well it's been around 7 months since we saw the AMD 5600XT released, and then over in the NVIDIA camp, around 18 months has passed since we saw that RTX 2060 arrive, which this XT here matches up with. So against each other, these two cards are evenly matched, but with quite a bit of time having passed, drivers on both sides have obviously changed since then. There's been modifications to certain games and then certain optimization. So the idea of today's video is that we're going to be revisiting this head-to-head here to see if either card is able to pull away from the other to gain the absolute victory. And so for today's video, we're going to be checking out the ASRock 5600XT Phantom Gaming D3. This card is a triple fan design and also benefits from that BIOS update, which allows the GPU and the memory to run at 1750 MHz. Pricing for this D3 sees it available for $289 in the US, $305 in the UK and $486 in Australia. The RTX 2060s are around the same price, give or take. And so guys, first of all we're going to check out that ASRock in plenty of detail, take off that cooler, have a look underneath, and then towards the end of the video we'll do that head-to-head to see if there are any major differences. Before we begin, today's video is brought to you by Be Quiet and their Pure Base 500DX. This mid-tower is designed and optimized for high airflow with its high airflow intake front panel and top cover. It comes armed with triple Pure Wings 2 140mm cooling fans, and it lays out some useful features for system builders such as USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C on the front panel and enough space for 360mm radiators, large CPU coolers and high performance graphics cards. 500DX is also available in black or white, giving you that ability to match it up with your configuration and office space. For more info on the Pure Base 500DX, please check out that link in the description. Okay, so here is our D3. We have a very tidy looking GPU. That triple fan design there is the main highlight and something which takes center stage. You can see just how long that cooler is. It extends right out beyond the PCB. We will of course take a more detailed look at that thermal design later on when we detach it. So that shroud is plastic and it has a nice raised detailing. Along the edge, ASRock has given the Phantom Gaming badge some subtle RGB lighting, and that can be controlled using their polychrome software. As far as the physical dimensions for those wanting specifics, the length of D3 is around 275mm. For the width it is just under 100, and then the height is 54. So it is quite a long card. You will need to take that into account as to whether or not it will fit inside your case. As I mentioned at the beginning, D3 benefits from a modification there to the GPU and the memory clocks, but we should point out that like other Navi cards, there is no absolute value for the GPU clock speed. The power limit is what determines the overall range, and so the GPU clock boost can go right up to 1750, and the memory also operates at 1752. Up against the RTX 2060, both cards are very similar in spec. There are just a few marginal differences. One thing that both cards do share though is a 192-bit 6GB GDDR6. Now in terms of your computer case, this card is a double slotter, but it will stray into a third PCI Express due to that shroud being slightly taller. And on the back panel we have 3 DisplayPort 1.4s, those can give you up to 8K at 60, and we also have one HDMI 2.0 that offers 4K at 60, and of course support there for FreeSync 2 HDR. To power this card, all you need is a single 8-pin PCI Express from the PSU, and ASRock are recommending a 650-watt power supply. That does seem to be pretty excessive, given the fact that other brands with similar spec are recommending just 450 watts. Turning to the back of the card, we have a metal backplate which protects that PCB, and it provides a bit of firmness as that cooler is huge in size. You can see that it extends right out and adds in an extra 9cm to the total size there. Okay, so we've taken the cooler off our XT, and so what we have are those triple fans, which are 80mm. Those have the 0 decibel technology, meaning they'll stop spinning when idle. Turning to the heatsink, there is a double heatsink design here with 3 copper heat pipes. That heatsink, as you can see, is pretty chunky, covers the memory and other components such as the VRM. It's also good to see that we do get that full VRAM coverage. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video, as we'll be seeing how effective this cooling design really is. Having the heatsink removed means that we can also get a good view of the design of this board. D3 features a 6+2 phase design, and the driving force behind the XT is of course the Navi 10 XLE GPU, which carries through that 7nm process on the RDNA technology. Based on the spec of the GPU and the memory configuration on this card, it is really designed for 1080p. So with that rundown out of the way, let's now check out the performance of XT versus the RTX 2060 founders. Instead of just sticking up some graphs and talking about them, we're actually going to show you real-time side-by-side performance, and we use 1080p and the maximum detail preset in each game. Now we are using the very latest drivers from AMD and Nvidia, so those are the AMD Adrenalin 20.7.1 and Nvidia's 451.67. We'll also have GPU-Z running in the background to pick up on the max GPU temperatures. The results for that will come at the end. Okay, and if we just come out of our last game, we can see the max temperature results. Okay, well that is the end of our video where we've been taking a look at the ASRock Phantom Gaming 5600XT D3 and comparing it to the RTX 2060 to see that, after the drivers have matured, whether there is a definitive winner. And certainly when we put these two cards together, they are still very evenly matched, and though there are certain titles that the XT kind of favours. So to answer the question, it is still neck and neck, and choosing between AMD or Nvidia is really going to come down to your preference with the drivers and, of course, as always, the price. If you can get one or the other slightly cheaper, then it's going to undoubtedly be the decider. As far as this D3 goes, it is a superb card which we can definitely recommend. It operates quietly, delivers low temperatures, it looks the business, and it performs very well indeed. If you want a card that can take on 1080 Ultra, then the XT is a good choice, and it's not going to hit your wallet too hard. Let me know in the comments, guys, whether you would, or whether you already have, gone with AMD or Nvidia at this particular price point. Would love to hear your opinion and your thoughts on that. A big thanks to you guys for watching today. Please like this video, as that really does help out. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, making sure those notifications are enabled. And I will catch you guys in the next one.